Hello, I just wanted to take 5 minutes to speak again to the people who are helping probably parents, family, loved ones with dementia. And you know, we started out with dementia a little while ago with our videos. First of all, heartfelt compassion and love, because when I cared for my own mother, almost full time, for several years, and throughout a decade in all, through her many illnesses, not full time, the decade, but I learnt more than I've probably ever learnt in my whole life. Now, obviously, for somebody with dementia, one is needing to be super tolerant, super patient and kind, and to envelop them in tenderness. Why? Because they are experiencing this very high frequency. Please make no mistake about that. They are out there trapped, as I've said before. Some people are trapped, arguably, no, not arguably, they're trapped for me in a sort of frequency sandwich. It's not very nice. And the most terrible thing to happen to anyone when they're at a high frequency, I speak from experience, many years of experience, is to be in fear. Now, fear ricochets, as we said in don't know when, a year ago, fear ricochets through the body, and the person in the dementia can probably feel it, but maybe not articulate it. I have known all sorts of moments when wonderful words have come up to describe this fear, but it is the most terrible thing I can see. I haven't experienced it myself, because I don't feel separate from the source from which I came here to the planet. But I can see, I saw in my mother, and then when she was in a home, I saw it in others around her, this terrible disconnectedness, the isolation, and with the isolation and the disconnectedness there is fear. Now the fear is, I would think, inexpressible, and I would think it is something that none of us can really, some of us probably couldn't bear to think of it, but very few people would want to be in that position. So just on some practical terms, please, if you can, while you're trying to be probably a warrior or a knight or a knightess yourself, if it's a parent, please be as compassionate as you can and as tender as you can. You know, a little dog, or stroking the hands, or some lovely tender care in terms of reflexology. And I'd just like to give a plug to the home that my mother was in Leicestershire. More details later, but the people who looked after her know who they are, and they were the most kind people I've virtually ever met in my life. And they wrapped their people, their patients, in loving care. And so please to do that, and please, if you can ground them. That's a funny thing, but you know, you can find out about grounding, which is not some sort of peculiar concept. The yoga people have had it for a long time. When you ask the person to just imagine, you can ask somebody suffering from dementia, they're on the page. My mother was on the page completely, in one aspect of herself. And I would say to her, imagine you know, the yoga people say this, imagine you have roots coming out of the bottom of your heels, and you help the person to run down the energy into the earth, to ground them. It'll stop them feeling as if they're floating off into the fear place. And I am so aware of the anguish of dementia for the whole family. So just love each other and do lovely things. You know, if you can't do meals out, do coffee, do something to go out and be in the countryside, if you can be in the sunshine, even the snow. Just be inclusive of the person, and really all the love in the world to you. It's very tough, I know.